Alright, hey everybody. Okay, well, here we go. This is a little test. Not a test of the video. I think I'm done with that. I'm going to settle on what I've got here. For better or worse, this is my moto vlogging setup. And hopefully it'll be better in the future, but it's not worse. It's not as bad as it has been. So I have a bit of a goal, and I've been struggling with it since December 19th. And that goal is that December 19th was the day I published my book, Going Alone. And the struggle has been to decide what the hell to do with that damn thing. You know, do I market it actively, aggressively? Do I just let it sit there? And it's a challenge because I don't think it's a book for a large audience. I don't think it's definitely not bestseller material. It's not even kind of good seller material. It's the kind of book that will really only matter to a few people. Those are the few people that kind of share the a personal makeup, constitution, perspective on life that I kind of do. And I know they're out there because I've corresponded with these people enough over the years on YouTube, via YouTube. So I thought, how do I best, well, I'm still thinking, how do I best make sure that book is out there and kind of has a chance of being found by the people to whom it may be of interest. Now, I thought first I could try to market it, you know, go to bookstores, try to get bookstores to carry it, but I don't know, I may do that, but it just doesn't, it seems problematic. I just can't quite see that happening. I can't imagine that. And that may be a failure of imagination on my part. Maybe I need to straighten up my view of the world. So my wife said it actually. We were talking about this, and she said, and I remarked to her the story of Henry David Thoreau, of whom I do not liken myself. It was just an anecdotal story of a similar situation, where Thoreau, after writing Walden, had 200 copies of the book published. The Vanity Press. He had it done himself, and he had those copies delivered to his little home. And I don't know how many or if any that he sold, but anyway, he ended up with boxes and boxes of his own books in his house, and he left a note in his journal saying, I am now the possessor, I'm paraphrasing, I am now the possessor, I'm trying to paraphrase in Thoreau's beautiful English, I am now the possessor of over 400 works of literature, over 200 of which I've written myself, which I've always thought that was interesting. So I was talking to my wife about Thoreau's dilemma, and she commented that, well, Kurt, things are different now. She says, in your situation, you have at your fingertips the tools that you need to share your work. She's absolutely right. And she was, of course, referring to social media and my instrument of YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and WordPress specifically. So, if you're wondering why the heck I started about the first of the year, why did I start uploading small snippet videos, and some of those are even reruns, so to speak. I was actually re-uploading content. Why was I doing that? And what the heck was that long 30-second bit at the end, with a coming up next and a little blurb for the book and all that, and a plug for the channel? Well, that was my effort to try and begin that process using my own instrument of social media, my own social media content. And I'll tell you, few things have ever been as well, I want to say problematic, but it doesn't sound like the right word, and it sounds like I use that word too much. more difficult to figure out. I mean, I really don't know how to proceed. And I'm getting feedback from people telling me various things. Sometimes people say they like what they see. They like the shorter videos or whatnot. And some people notice that they're repeats and don't like that. And some people make some really good. I mean, these are all excellent feedback. And some of the best feedback I got was the point that there was a certain quality to my longer adventure videos, where I would go out and have an adventure and make an hour-long video of the snippets with very little editing, and people could kind of come along for the ride. And this is a comment that I've received many times over the years, that people enjoyed that sense of being along for the ride. And it's not a video with a lot of flash or advertising or special effects. It's just the adventure itself, and that those little, probably the hardest criticism to receive was the comment that took away from that. And it was hard, not because I didn't want to hear it, although I didn't. It was hard, not because it wasn't true, but it was hard because that seemed to be a successful vehicle. Sales of the book have been, not great, but steady. Pretty much every day, books have been selling as long as I've been keeping up that daily upload and sharing on Facebook and WordPress. That's very encouraging. And again, I'm not after the sales necessarily. I just want to have the book in the hands of the people, of anyone who might need it. I'm hoping the objective of the book is to, it took me from my mid-teens until mid-40s to get my act together, figure out a decent way to live my life. And I would love to be able to do something to save others that long process. And I think that's what the book attempts to do. Well, that's not what I think. I know that's exactly what the book attempts to do. That's what I set out to do in writing the book. So it was really frustrating to get that excellent feedback, which I knew was true. And I came up with all kinds of things. I said, I don't want to do this. I'll go upload it to a ghost channel that nobody ever watches. But in fact, that defeats the whole purpose. Yeah, sure, I can upload it to the ghost channel, but if no one's going to see it, then no one's going to see it. And the other interesting thing that came as a result of those uploading like that was a strange, new, creative outlet. Okay, so here's how it works. So when I go out into the wilderness and do a video, I'll come home and I'll have 20 clips, maybe, varying lengths from 15 seconds to 20 minutes each, and they all go together and they make up an hour-long video. And I put them in a folder all together. They're called the raw video folder for whatever that video is, and then I stitch them all together into one big video. Well, what I started doing was I said, you know what? I each of those little clips, I took that for a reason. It was its own little adventure anecdote, so to speak. A own little story from it. You know what I can do? I can take that little anecdote and plug a trailer piece, an ending, onto the video that might catch people's interest in the next video, and plugs the book, and upload that more frequently than before. Because the long videos, I only get to upload those because I only adventure once or twice a month, so I'd only get to upload one or two of those a month. Here, the traffic's slowing down up here. So I started doing that, and what do you know? Two things happened. One, they seem to be getting views, not a lot, but still something. But really fascinating thing was, okay, here's the process. I add them to that folder. I then drag each one of those, and I will still make a long video from the collected bits. I then drag them out individually, produce them into individual short videos, an average of 5 minutes length, and upload those. And then here's where the magic happened, so to speak, if I do say so myself. I would first upload the video. I produced the little video. I would first upload it to Facebook as a Facebook video, and then I would write a little paragraph about it. And what do you know? The words just flow. I was really surprised. My muse, which I refer to in my book, my muse seems to like this process and would visit me and bestow whatever musy goodness muses can do. I would then take that little video, and then upload it to YouTube on the softypapa channel and put it into a playlist called the Going Alone Moments. So I have the Going Alone Adventures, the long videos, and the Going Alone Moments. Put that in there, and then I would take that and share that back to Facebook as a I would take that video and I would embed it in a WordPress blog post, and take the paragraph that I wrote for the first Facebook post and put that into the WordPress post, so you have some content there. And then I would embed the video, of course, and then save that to Facebook, and then share that from Facebook. Actually not have the auto share, but go in and manually click on the Facebook share button, and then write another paragraph about the same idea, but they would take two perspectives. One of the paragraphs would tend to be more factual, while the other paragraph would kind of be more artsy-fartsy, that kind of that flowery writing that I like to do, and I'm so fond of. That I can thank the 19th century transcendentalists, Thoreau, Emerson, and the like, for making me fall in love with that kind of writing, which I know isn't everybody's cup of tea, but oh well. So I would do that, and then I would share the same thing on LinkedIn, and also automatically send it out to Twitter. And you know what? Well, then I would take that new paragraph and plug that in to the WordPress blog at the top of the other paragraph, and plug it into the YouTube video, and take both paragraphs and add them to a Word document that I'm creating, which will be a second book eventually. It'll be more of a notebook type of a deal. And wow, well, what a creative process that is. I'm just amazed at how the words come out. The negative part of this, and there's so many positives involved. In fact, just reciting it back just now has almost convinced me to get back on course with that. Whatever, come what may, even if I lose all my subscribers. The negative is that, like I said, it takes away from the quality of the old videos, and I know that's true. I may be willing to pay that price. Because what I have, I took a lesson from my years as a antique dealer and a merchant, a Japanese goods merchant online when I lived in Japan, and I learned something called long tail marketing, which was to sell more with make more with more, something like that. There's a phrase for it. What it meant was that instead of trying to make $100 with a single advertisement or a single listing on the internet, a single item for sale on the internet, I would make $1 with 100 items listed, or better yet, 10 cents with 1,000, or whatever the case may be. The more products I could get out there, as long as I can keep my business overhead under control, I could rely on the cumulative sales of those to make a steady revenue stream. Now, we're all familiar with this. If you're a content creator on YouTube and you've got enough videos to be making revenue, you're familiar with this, especially if you've got lots of videos. Somehow it balances out, and you pretty much get a steady paycheck. It all kind of depends on what YouTube does. The changes that they make, like the recent change that they made, of course, have dramatic effects, but it all tends to then balance out. Like for a long time, I was making thousands of dollars a month on videos, and then YouTube made a big old change, and that dropped me down to the hundreds of dollars a month for the revenue. And if you put that on a graph, it's like startling. It's just like a solid line across. Same amount every month. And I have over 6,000 videos out there. So what was happening now was this sheer quantity of videos was drawing in views and averaging out month to month. If you could throw out the periodic viral videos that would happen, that would kind of change that dynamic. For the most part, it was steady. So I want to do the same thing now for my book, and I want to do that by virtue of having a lot of softypapa content out there, and with that little trailer at the end for the book. So maybe some young person that has the same inclination, the same disposition, mental state that I had when I was 16 might if I just keep it the old way, you know, I'm steady 1 or 2 videos a month, there's the less likelihood that they'll stumble across one of my videos, especially if I'm, you know, if I'm not very careful about my tags and titles and stuff. But if I'm very attentive to my metadata, and I'm uploading on a daily basis and good writing content, because that affects the search filters as well. If there are a lot of relevant keywords in those first couple sentences in the description, and good titles, and someone's looking for something, you know, something like adventure or solitude or, you know, stoicism or you know, even people that are thinking about, you know, making an exit, you know, suicide, because I do tag my videos with suicide related terms. I'm hoping to catch people and maybe offer them, you know, an alternative to stepping out the door, so to speak. If I can get a whole bunch of those out there, then maybe that'll increase my chance of catching excuse me, more people. And again, this isn't to make money, you know, it's not for that. I do make a small amount on the books, but it's incidental. It's next to nothing. And you know, Amazon takes you know, the vast majority of the profit. But that's not the reason for it. The reason is to hopefully catch those individuals. And even that I'm not so sure about. You know, I'm making a little bit of profit. I may drop that down to nothing. When I first released the book, I didn't do it at all. And the reason I added a little bit of profit to it was that I have this intention of giving books away, and I'd like to maybe use some of that revenue to defray the cost of I had to purchase them myself. So if I can do that, then I can purchase some on the side and have them to give away. Like there's a viewer who may actually see this video right now. That's a young man who's waiting for a copy that I promised to send him, and I'm going to do that as soon as I can, Stephen. As soon as I can get the. I'm having a little problem with my some edits that I made on a copy, so I want to make sure that you get a copy with the most recent edits. So anyway, I'm off the point now. But I think I made my point, and I think I've talked myself back into it. And to the person, and I hope they don't mind. G, I'll just say G, the man who contacted me. First name starts with G. He, I think it was G. Maybe I may be mixing him up with another writer, and I apologize if I can't remember. The email that you sent me was very influential to me. We had a little bit of correspondence back and forth. And wow, I was dipping my head down below the windscreen. I couldn't quite see that I had gone off the side there. Anyway, if I go back to my old ways, it's not because your comments weren't good or I didn't agree with you. It's just simply because I have another aim now, and I am willing to burn the channel. I am willing to burn the old model down to achieve that aim. And if it is a little more commercial, then so be it. So I think I'm going to bring back that Going Alone Moments playlist. I'm going to get home tonight. I'll upload that snippet. And I'm going to go ahead and do the little writing bit, keep it up. And you know what? Don't be surprised if you start seeing my old Japan content coming up as well, because there's a lot to say for that. And that's good, that old Japan content, that's good bait for fishing. And I am fishing. I'm not fishing for souls, because I don't think many of us have souls. I'm fishing for lives. I'm fishing for people that might be having a hard time, and who might share my worldview, my disposition towards life, and to whom my message might mean something. So I'm glad I did this, and I'm going to try to do more of this in the future. So let's get on over now. There's an old police car there. Let's get over. We're about to get on the 5 freeway, so I'll kind of narrate us through this interchange here. So I'm on the 55 southbound right now. We're about to come up to the 5. We'll have to make the exchange over the top there. It's all coming to a stop right up there. Slowing down fast. Want to come on over? Come on over. So you got to be careful splitting lanes through here, because a lot of people weaving in and out. But I do this every day. You kind of get a feel for things, but yeah, that'll be the death of me. Here we go. Let's get up here. See, this person's coming over. Come on in. There are these rock trucks. They're always dropping rocks, and especially because I ride without any eye protection. So you know, a rock in the eye is going to make me blind. I did get one this morning, right on my hit me right on the eyebrow. I've had a lot of close calls, but that's how I like to ride. I do have my big old windscreen, and it deflects the wind right over the top of my head, so it's not like I'm riding face on into the wind. It's not so bad. Okay, now it's going to slow down real quick here. If I keep doing this, you guys are that follow me regularly are going to get to know this commute pretty well. We're going to go up and over the 5 now. Oh, thank you very much. This truck moved aside for me. Thank you. Let me give him a friendly wave. And it's kind of fun going splitting through here. Not a lot of traffic moving back and forth. A few once in a while. You have to be careful. I try to split in such a way that I don't have a car. This one noticed me. They don't have an open space so someone can cut in. If there's a car immediately next to them, that's better. So don't ignore what I just did there, because that guy didn't have a car. This person's making some room for me. Thank you very much. Give them a nice wave. And here's someone swooping in. It's the ones that don't signal and just come across all of a sudden that are the real problem. Now we're coming up over the top. We should kind of, you guys should have a nice view of Irvine, the cityscape. It's not much of a skyline. Irvine is kind of a flat city, very flat in fact. But way off in the distance you can see the buildings around the Spectrum Shopping Center, and that's where I live. Family and I just signed our lease again for another 18 months. It was a real, there's the like I say, the nightmare of the 5. That's the northbound 5 that you see all the white lights. And but this would be our 4th lease since we returned to the United States, and we really debated this one. We love the place that we live right now, and believe it or not, we found some place that we thought might actually be better, and we really racked our minds about this. And last night, after work and school, the 3 of us we just had a little quick pizza, and then we headed out and we snuck into the place. It's called Westview. It's the newest phase of the South Irvine Irvine Company's developments in South Irvine, and it's basically modeled after our current community, which is a podium-style apartment community, which means that it's not spread out like most apartment buildings are. You know, we have like parking lots and buildings, like a building here, a building there. It's all built like a giant block with a courtyard in the middle. There's our place there's not a restaurant, but there's a little restaurant, coffee shop, all kinds of amenities, a pool, weight room, and everything, and it's all sealed in. The outside world can't get in. That's why it's a kind of a podium, and it's up. The whole world lives up on the 2nd floor, and it's open and exposed. It's really an amazing concept. First time we'd ever lived that way, and I don't want to ever go back. I don't even think I want to have my own house. I would rather live like this than own a single family residence. Although I would like Emily to experience that. But especially now that Yumiko and I are about to become empty nesters, I could see us in this kind of an apartment for the rest of our life. Definitely. And the new place is also podium style, and we were real excited about it, but we went over yesterday, and they even offered us some incentives to try to get us to move in. But I think we decided to stay where we are. And mainly it was because of for me it was the traffic noise, because I like to have the windows open, and it was close enough to the freeway that I could hear the traffic. I didn't like that. Also, there were some unknown quantities. Couldn't actually see a model of the unit because there were none available, which is a shame. So in the end, we chose to stay, and we signed an 18-month lease. Now that's going to take us to August 2019, which will be 2 months after Emily graduates from high school. And we thought that was a good time. We had the option for a 12-month lease or an 18-month lease. We thought that 18-monther was a good one, because then Emily's going to be in college, and she plans to go to, even though she's doing great, she's getting straight A's in school, and she has been for years. Her grades are outstanding. She could go directly to university if she wanted to. She would rather go to junior college first for a couple of years, just like I did, just like my wife did, to get her undergraduate, her general education work out of the way, and then switch to university. So we have a lot of good junior colleges here in the OC, so including Irvine Valley College, which she might go to. So wherever she chooses to go to junior college, we will move to that area, because Emily can stay with us. And then once she's ready to go to university, we will bid our daughter adieu and get her all set up and on starting that great adventure in her life. And it's kind of hard to imagine that happening. Yumiko and I as empty nesters. Wow. Just maybe 3 years away from that. So now we're on the 5. We're going to be closing in on where I live very soon. Just up here, there's 2 ways to get off the 5 up here. To go home, I can get off. Both of them are the same off ramp. I just realized that now. The same off ramp to the left and the right, and that's to Barranca. So as we close into the end, I'm gonna listen to a little tunage here, and we'll go ahead and bring ourselves into a close. Oh wow, YouTube's crashing. Let's listen to. There we go. Heck, maybe I'll even add this to the... No, I won't. Or maybe I will. Maybe I'll add this to the video. We'll see. Excuse me. About another mile or so up here. I decided to take the off-ramp to the right, which is a little more fun. They're both fun, but this one's a little more. And if you're wondering how fast I'm going, about 70 right now, which is a little faster than the ambient flow of traffic. I see some brake lights coming on up there. Let me make over to the far right side. Get past this truck and get over to the right lane. Look at all that brake lights up there. Gotta stop riding for the damn camera. Yeah, I do that. I mentioned it before. You know, I definitely ride more aggressively when I've got the camera on. You know, like I never would have darted through the trucks like that back there with the camera off. It's so juvenile and tempting to show off for the camera. It's not showing off. It's just, if anything, it's just showing off my immaturity and its stupidity. So let me have it. Okay, we'll make a left turn up here and swing into center point. Look at that crescent moon up there, a little sliver of a moon. Lots of traffic. Where does all this traffic come from? Usually there's nobody here, or very few cars. There we go. Green arrow to the left. Alright, and over here to the right, that's center point. You can kind of just barely see it. The light's directly in front of me. I'm aiming my head right at it. There's a building. That's the place that we were thinking about moving. And as you can see, it's just 2 blocks away because the place we live is right over there. But we signed the lease today, so we're back on for 18 months. Yep. That'll go well. That'll go fast. I really do like it there, so no complaints. Wow, I'm back at it. I'm really gonna do it. I keep being so wishy-washy. I gotta remember my mission here. My mission here is to make the book available and use, like my wife said, use the tools, the instruments at my disposal. And if it means I have to change the quality and character of my work a little bit, my YouTube content a little bit, then so be it. Yeah, so be it. It should turn green now. Now. No. No? Yes? Now? Wow. No, not turning for me at all. Problem with being a bike, sometimes they won't sense you, but there is somebody behind me. It should be able to sense him. Turn up. No. And now? Yes? No? No? No, I guess no. Oh, this guy's coming over. He knows. He's coming up from behind to the side. And now we'll get it. No? Maybe the next one. This has been fun making this moto vlog. Just to talk about life, talk about stuff. I will wait here until it changes, even if it's the end of time. And here's my home, Center Point. Love you, Center Point. I never want to live anywhere else. Honestly, I could stay here the rest of my life. Be very, very content. Swinging. Yeah. And here we are. Okay, well, everybody, I'll leave it on for another second. Turn the blinker off at least. All hung up. Okay. And up. All right. Okay, big GSA is back on the center stand at home. Do 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 do. What's that music? Oh, thanks everybody for joining me. It's good having you along. More later, I hope. See you later. A GoPro off. GoPro, stop recording.